Hello, my name is Emily and today I'll be presenting my web application called StudBud. This is an app targeted towards students, specifically Sydney Uni students studying design computing, who are looking to maximize their productivity and time management. In this presentation, I'll be going over the background research and its application through the form of personas, the mockups I designed, and finally the development roadmap. To guide my research, I set an objective which was to understand the main pain points university students have when managing their time, study habits, and goals. Firstly, I took an online ethnography which was conducted to inspect the first-hand experiences of the target audience. I took a broad approach by looking at online forums found on Reddit about students from across the world sharing similar problems that they face when attempting to plan out their study sessions. Then I narrowed my scope by messaging the Facebook Design Computing group chat, asking students what they found most challenging in studying a degree that involves a lot of assignments and coursework. I also looked at existing apps that are designed to boost productivity. The Forest app incorporates a Pomodoro timer while monitoring the use of external apps. Users are encouraged to stay focused through the growth of a virtual tree. Through personally using this app, I found that it was quite basic in its system and it could benefit from more personalization and user input. To supplement my secondary research, journal articles were examined. In a study conducted by the Journal of Educational Psychology, researchers found that students who described they had a good control over their time reported higher evaluations of their performance, greater work and life satisfaction, and less role overload. This idea is further illustrated in an article written by Liam Bray, who said that building good time management skills reinforce behaviours, thus leading to the achievement of long-term goals. I summarise my findings into 4 key insights. The first one is to break down a big task into manageable chunks. Focus on one small task at a time and take action. The time blocking solution involves dividing your tasks and assigning them times for when you want to complete them. In addition, taking breaks is crucial to productivity as they prevent fatigue and they keep you focused. Finally, establishing a routine by studying at the same time is also a great strategy for time management. I was then able to apply my research through the creation of several personas. Alex is in his second year studying design computing. After landing an internship, he finds himself struggling to balance his increased workload with his university assignments. He finds himself studying all the time, but in ways that are not efficient, thus not making the best use of his time. His goal as a user is to improve organization and have a resource list that is easily accessible. A challenge that he faces is that he studies for too long at a time, which makes him feel unmotivated and burnt out. Sarah is a first-year design computing student. After taking a gap year, she's finding it challenging to get back into the routine of studying and managing her time. She is familiar with the routine of high school where she would be reminded of upcoming assignments and given allocated class time to study. Her goals are to improve her focus by having a visual calendar and start working on assignments earlier. Sarah's challenge is that she feels a lack of support in her studies. I then moved on to generating mock-ups using the key insights gained from earlier stages. First, I brainstormed and sketched out ideas using a rapid iteration process. This helped me decide between secondary features that were most suitable for my app according to the brief. For example, as you can see, I chose a Kanban board over Cove quadrants as I felt it was a lot more simpler and easier to organize for my target audience. Moving on, I created wireframes for both desktop and mobile app versions. I reworked the main page multiple times because I wanted to create something that was minimal and straightforward with only the most productive interactions to be featured on the main page. I also wanted my app to be flexible in that all the pages were interlinked and the user could easily navigate between different areas of the app. Here I detailed the full functional specification list for my app, along with the user goal and priority. These features will be covered in more depth during the development stage. With the initial mockups I had in mind, I created a UI style guide used for my final prototype. I chose a rounded sans serif font complemented with a bright, minimal color palette. A Kanban board was designed so that the user can easily visualize their tasks whilst maximizing efficiency and workflow. They can do this through customizable columns, being able to rate the priority for a task, and the ability to drag and drop tasks accordingly. The Pomodoro timer is a study technique where the user can break their focus time into intervals, typically 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. As you can see here, the users have the ability to switch between a Pomodoro timer and a stopwatch. They are also able to visually see their progress through a circular timeline. The reading list is a great way of organizing material required for different subjects. The user is able to sort their readings based on their subject, the date added, or in alphabetical order. They can additionally search for a specific reading and link PDF documents through the interface. Finally, a music player will be made available to the user to maximize their focus session and make studying a more customizable and enjoyable process. There is a simple pop-up tab found at the bottom of the Pomodoro timer page. When expanded, they can see the title and artist as well as the timeline playback controls. Users have the ability to favorite and curate their own study playlists. In terms of implementing these designs into my coded app, I drew a development roadmap that illustrates my plans for the weeks ahead. In weeks 8 to 9, I hope to set up a server and client code whilst implementing back-end functionalities and key features. In weeks 10 to 11, I am to finalize data structures with a key focus on creating a responsive design. In weeks 12 to 13, I will work on the CSS, including animations and incorporating my style guide. And that marks the end of my presentation. Here are the references I used, the images, the affinity diagram from my online ethnography, and the mock-ups which didn't make it to the final cut. Thank you.